he looks at me like totally in shock, like, what are you doing? And he calls me a cave woman. Hey everybody, great that you're back here on Culture Lab with me, and welcome to episode 3 of my intercultural relationship series. And today I want to talk about cultural peculiarities or cultural quirks, that I've come across in my relationship with an Indian. So I'm German, my boyfriend is Indian, and this is what I stumbled across. Let me first start with a very popular topic in Germany, because we are said to be the world champions in airing rooms. I do that all the time, various times a day, and especially after getting up, waking up, I open the window full blast for a couple of minutes and flip back the bed sheets, and I also sleep at night with my windows slightly open, also in winter, and therefore I wear like 2 layers and a scarf, whereas my boyfriend sleeps all year long in shorts and t-shirt, even in winter, and he always complains, oh, it's too cold, why can't we not close the window? And I say, get dressed like for winter. And I cannot sleep if the window is closed, because then my nose gets dry from all that dry air, and I wake up in the night. And I also turn off the heater in the night. My boyfriend turns the heater on, and it's like creates a sauna. Basically, I'm like all cuddled up with 2 layers and have the window open. So this is the first thing that is definitely a big difference, even though I'm sure there are also Germans who sleep like him, and also probably Indians who have the windows open. But due to the heat, it's a bit of a problem, I realize that. Then let's take a look at some dinner habits, because this is also a big difference, because I'm completely fine eating the leftovers of lunch at dinner time, or like just having some bread, like the famous German Brotzeit, bread time in the evening, where I just have bread with different spreads like egg, avocado, and some tuna melt maybe, or a salad. And I usually never cook more than once a day. This is already it. So, and my boyfriend absolutely needs to have something properly cooked for dinner, because the only time of the day where he can have something like cold or uncooked would be breakfast, where he's very flexible. He can have oats, he can have like bread and some spreads or cheese, and then something warm already for lunch, and then for dinner as well. Whereas I'm already munching in the evening, having my bread and stuff, all leftovers, whereas he's cooking, like normally he prepares some rice and fried fish or khichdi. I hear that word all the time. For him, really, bread is the enemy. Whenever he says, what will you eat for dinner? And I say, I think just bread. And he says, bread? Why? This is definitely a big difference. But kudos to all the people, all the Indians who cook all the time, or like 2 times a day or more. I have no idea how you manage. I love eating more food, definitely. I can also eat it more than once or twice, but it takes lots of time, really. Another thing where I found a big difference, like when we take walks, I'm completely fine with like picking strawberries from the side of the road. Of course, it's not a road with high traffic, dense traffic. But then I grab some raspberries, and he looks at me like totally in shock, like, what are you doing? You're poisoning yourself, this could be dangerous. And I'm like, these are strawberries. But the only thing that is safe is from the supermarket. And I'm like, where do these things from the supermarket come from? From nature, right? In a way. And he's like totally shocked, and he calls me cave woman or so. And I'm like, oh look, and there's an apple, and when there are walnuts lying on the way, I step on them, crack them open, and just eat them instantly, and I really enjoy that. Or I pick used books from the public bookshelf and take them home, or like these giveaways you will find at the edge of the road when people like move and put out a carton or basket with the stuff they don't need anymore. I take home a mug, I put it in the dishwasher, done. I'm happy with the new mug. But he would never do it, Then another thing I've noticed, because we had a little incident, is like road rules and traffic rules. Like once when we got into my car, and when he opened the door, he slightly touched the car next to us, and there was a little scratch on the other car. And he said, well, it's just a big scratch, it's barely visible. Yeah, let's move on. And I said, no way. Here you cannot do that. You have to call the police. You have to wait till they're there, till they have documented that damage, till they have reported it to the owner of the other car, and then the owner can contact you, and you both contact your insurances, and yeah, make up for the damage done. And he didn't understand that. He found that totally over the top, which I do understand really, but here it's super important. If you remove yourself from that spot or that place, it's a criminal act, and we don't want that. So it like these little things are super important here. No matter how small, you just want to be on the safe side. And yeah, he says like in India they directly get out of the car. If they like bump onto each other like in front of a traffic light, they just get out and like quarrel a bit or directly settle their argument or whatever it is. And actually nobody really has an insurance, so it's over and done with and you move on. Another thing that is, I think, a big cultural aspect and important one is this family or friends staying over at your place or staying at your place for quite some time. Like my Indian boyfriend is very used to people staying at his place for weeks and months. So his parents, when they come to visit him, they stay there for a couple of months. With his sister, which is in the US, they stayed like for 5 months. And also when he grew up, he had cousins of his who studied in his hometown, staying there for a couple of months or even a year to do their studies, which is absolutely unthinkable here, because I think our cultures differ in the sense that like the German society is a Western society which tends to be individualistic, and the Indian is more of a collective society. So me as a person, I could never imagine people staying over for weeks and months. Like the maximum people would stay is a couple of days or over the weekend. So we do normally not have a guest room with a wardrobe and bed, but just an extendable couch where people can sleep on. And I think for us, it's very important that we can withdraw and have our own space, our own room where we can do our own thing and like relax and be ourselves there. And because when we have guests, we feel like we need to be around them all the time. We need to look after them, cook for them, keep them entertained. So we would like not have them sitting somewhere around and do our own stuff. And in Indian culture, it's more like the people are there. You go about your own business. You also do your stuff. You do things together, but also you lead your normal life. It doesn't get like interrupted like it would be considered here. And so this is a thing that I really admire. Having always around you, because I feel like I can never like really relax then and be myself, but it's definitely different where he comes from, and definitely a big difference. And another thing, and now don't hate me, I've just heard it from him. I heard it on a couple of comments on YouTube as well, on Asian families, or like also Indian families, Southeast Asian families, that please and thank you is not said in this family so often, like if you compare it to Germany or the West here. Because here we are used to saying thank you and please all the time. Like when a child sets the table, the mom says thank you, and when the mom gives the child like some candy, the child is supposed to say thank you. And if not, the mom will say, what do you say? And so children learn from an early age onward that you always say thank you and be grateful for everything. Like it's in the family as well as with grandparents, friends, and strangers, of course. So even the smallest things are accompanied by this thank you or sorry, and you learn to apologize. Because here it's very important to do that, because you show the other person that you're aware of their efforts, and that you want to, like, this is the way of expressing your respect for that person. Like you don't take the effort of the other person for granted, and even the smaller things, even though you're family, you cannot take the things they do for you for granted. Like if your parents pick you up from the station or buy you something, you say thank you. And you say sorry if you make mistakes. So that's really a must here. If you don't do that, you consider it as rude. However, in Asia or India, this is totally different, as as my boyfriend told me, it's considered as something absolutely normal and natural that you do something for each other in family, and you would also do it in return. and that's what you expect without saying it. And yeah, so these little things go in the sense that I notice that you will not express it. Here it's very important to express gratitude or you're sorry. And of course it needs to be genuine, it needs to come across that you really mean it, otherwise it's just an empty phrase and we don't want that. But generally that is a big difference. And I was very astonished by it, a bit confused at the beginning because I found like, there's something missing, right? Till we talked about it and he explained it to me how it is for him. Like for him it feels a bit shallow when we say thank you and please and yeah, sorry all the time, because he says like this is just a phrase that would tell you, okay, I thank you for that, over and done with, I don't owe you anything anymore, and we can move on. So whereas if you don't say anything, like where he comes from, you actually always have in mind that you would return the favor. I hope you got what I meant. I find it quite fascinating. I think we all have our own background, how we grew up and what we are used to, but it's definitely important to understand the other side and why it is that way in certain cultures or countries. So now, I hope you like this video of the cultural quirks or differences. If you have any that I might have missed, where you would say, I would like to add something to that, or maybe to help me understand things better, tell me, let everybody and me know in the comments. I'm dying to read from you or hear from you, and yeah, I hope to see you in episode 4 of my relationship series. And also make sure to check out my Instagram, Culture Lab, and Tasha Travels, which is my travel, that also belongs to my travel blog. Tasha Travels Always Somewhere. I would love to see you there. But till then, see you guys and stay safe.